What is up, guys and gals? Welcome to another episode of the Nonsense Review. I can't prepare a number joke today. Oh well. I'm your host as always, Devon. Joining me equally as always is Rick.
Hello, everybody.
Now, the reason why I can't prepare a number joke today is because this is slightly in the future. Quite a bit in the future as of recording. This should be the final week where Rick is in Australia.
Yep.
So Rick's over in Australia, so we're pre-recording some episodes so you guys still get your fun nonsense review, retrospective, etc. content. That being said, it means we can't talk about our weeks or the goings on in the wide universe because none of it's happened yet. So instead, we're going to borrow a time-honoured segment from the retrospective, which is
the nonsense asinine hypotheticals. And, well, do you have one for me today?
Today we're watching a classic of a classic cartoon. So, my question's pretty easy. What classic cartoon character deserves some modern-day love?
Depending on how you define classic, because this is going back a hell of a long time in real-time world, but not far enough that it's, black and white. I'm going with Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, no, I that fills the criteria. Something that was out ages ago and hasn't had anything for a long time.
Yeah, I think Roger Rabbit predates me, so yeah, I think that kind of fills the criteria. Yeah, he basically only shows up in the novel that the movie is based on, and the movie, and then they made a little bit of Toontown in Disneyland.
I don't even know that much about Roger Rabbit. I know he's fucking Jessica Rabbit, and she's hot as fuck for a cartoon character.
So, who's going to be your pick for this same question? What classic cartoon character would you have as, well, getting some modern day love?
Yeah, it's not a difficult pick. It's Ralph Wolf.
Ralph Wolf.
Yeah, so back in the early days of Warner Brothers, there was two characters that got some attention. It was Ralph Wolf and Wile E. Coyote. You might have seen Ralph Wolf and not realise it was Ralph Wolf, because he looks exactly like Wile E. Coyote, except he has a big red nose.
Sure.
His gimmick was he was always trying to steal sheep from a shepherd's flock. He was up against his regular foe, Sam the sheepdog, and the difference between Wile E. Coyote and Ralph Wolf is Ralph Wolf was just doing it as his 9 to 5. His job was to steal sheep, so he'd clock in, he'd try and steal sheep. Sam would always thwart him because that was his job, and at 5 o'clock, Ralph Wolf was like, alright, nice day working with you, Sam, and then he'd fuck off. But more importantly, the reason why I bring him up is there was a really fun game on the PlayStation 1 called Sheepdog and Wolf, and it was just a wacky stealth Acme game where you were Ralph Wolf trying to steal sheep from Sam. It was a fun game, and the series in general was just fun silliness.
Yeah, good shit.
So, yeah, Rick, I assume you have a question for me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a simple one. You get to be a classic monster. What monster would you choose to be and why?
Alright, I'm gonna self-impose a rule and not pick Godzilla.
Sure.
I don't know, man. I think I'd be a genie.
Okay.
Because you know what I'm like, Rick. I don't like losing parts of myself, so I get to keep all my parts. And I become an all-powerful magic man.
And you get a house.
Exactly! I own my home! And I can make that home as awesome as I want. The only caveat is, every so often, probably once every 1,000 years or so, some prick knocks on my door and wants 3 wishes.
Yeah.
If they're a dickhead, I can just be like, oh, you want the world's biggest cock, eh? And boom, everyone in the world now has a very tiny cock except him.
Yeah, either that or a giant chicken falls on him.
Oh, that would be better. You get so much fun as a genie. Alright, if you go by Aladdin rules, it sucks, but if you go by actual genie rules, it's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent deal.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm going to go with the basic bitch werewolf, because there are a lot of people who are into that, and they get most of the benefits of what vampires get without having to feed on people. They just, lose control for a little bit every month.
Yeah, still pretty bad.
People are dickheads anyway.
Yeah, okay, but I don't think there's very few chances that you'll accidentally rage out because it's the full moon and, oh, everyone you've ever killed was actually a massive piece of shit. No, half of them were just drunk. Rick, what are we doing today?
We're doing something that I didn't even know came in this form. We're doing the very first Bugs Bunny cartoon, which is in black and white. It's Bugs Bunny episode 1 ever, Porky's Hare Hunt. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Nice to hear that even back then they had the classic theme tune.
Yeah.
It's so weird pairing Porky Pig with Bugs Bunny. At least in an antagonist sense.
Yeah, I think the idea was Porky was too likable, so they had to replace him with Elmer Fudd.
Jesus Christ! This is old!
Yeah, so these are just normal rabbits. Oh man, you can see the prototype of Elmer Fudd in him as well, can't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, it is just Porky Pig wearing Elmer Fudd's gear.
Yeah. Before the character got decomposited.
They're having some fun with the animation, at least.
Yeah, they are at least.
Bugs Bunny so far has done nothing but make fucking Woody Woodpecker laughs.
Yeah. He's kind of behaving a little bit more like, like Woody Woodpecker than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that. He sniffs its arse, so it just boots him in the schnoz.
Oh, that's a fun little effect.
Yeah. The shotgun just splits into two trunks.
Yeah. My god, that doesn't sound anything like Bugs Bunny.
Nope. Ha! Hair remover.
Fuck off.
That's like on the... Oh, he pulls himself out the hat. Okay, that's kind of funny.
That's a joke they fucking reuse in so many Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing a bullfighter gag, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this was a more recent Bugs Bunny, he'd have the whole Matador outfit on and everything.
Yes. And there might be an anvil behind it rather than just a piece of scenery.
Not a fan of Bugs in this.
At least he's getting one over on the villains.
I suppose, but like, I will say this is old school animation. I don't want to be too harsh on it, but they seem to have problems with characters passing other characters.
Yeah, I feel you.
Oh, you'll see it now. Oh, well, no, because they've decided to go for that joke, making me look like a twat.
Forbidden pea shooter.
I don't think that joke works, but okay. What the fuck? He's Rayman now.
Yeah. Before he becomes Ramon.
That's not canon. I'll tell you what, he sounds more like Daffy Duck at the moment. The voice actor.
Yeah, so it's essentially two characters that got decomposited.
Well, no, I don't think he's acting like Daffy Duck. I'm just saying he sounds like him, as in they've used the VA.
I think he kind of is acting a bit like Daffy sometimes. When he's not doing his trickery and he's just bouncing around, that's what Daffy does when he snaps, you know?
Yeah, I suppose. I just don't like thinking about it. You know what, thinking about it, a lot of his vocal cadences are like Daffy Duck, like, oh, Chief and all that stuff, because that's a very Daffy thing to say. I like that
I think
joke.
he's even
I've
got a little bit of the
700
lisp
kids.
as well. Yeah. Is he going to look up the barrel?
Gotta kick him up the arse. Listen, I'm not going to be rude on nothing, but I think I could beat the shit out of a rabbit in a fist fight. I don't want to brag, but...
And Rayman's off into the universe again.
I will say, considering the time period, that is a really nice bit of animation.
It is a bit, yeah. Like, I can very much see this being coloured in and looking a lot more like things that came a lot later.
Sure. Well, except for Bugs' design.
Yeah, apart from that, yeah. But like compared to Steamboat Willie, where the black and white Disney stuff looks way different to the colour stuff that came later.
Yeah, hence why Steamboat Willie's in the public domain, but Steamboat Willie Mickey is in the public domain, whereas Mickey Mouse is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a bit of comparison to Steamboat Willie in particular with this.
Which we also did on the podcast, but we did it on my gaming channel to try and let people know. I had a few subscribers over there. I wanted them to know that. By the way, I have a podcast now. I don't think any of them jumped over.
No. Are you going to pop a link to the episode down in the comments?
Fuck no! That is a Bugs Bunny gag of like, here's me bringing some flowers into the hospital because I'm going to fuck you up in a second.
Yeah.
Yep. I can see why they moved away from Porky Pig being his foe, because, like, that just looked pathetic.
Yeah. Like, Porky is, he's kind of too sympathetic in this, but also he's too sympathetic to fill the role of Hunter.
Yeah. Like, Elmer Fudd does it a lot better, because Elmer Fudd is stupid and bumbling and kind of pathetic, but he's always the aggressor, so therefore you don't mind laughing at his failings.
Yeah.
That being said, Rick, that was the very first episode of Bugs Bunny, at least that we could find. What do you think?
I think the backgrounds looked very, very good. The character designs were unbuilt.
Going to cut you off very quickly here. We are ignoring the fact that it's grainy as fuck because the recording quality we found was not great.
Yeah. Like, it was all right. You can see the roots of a lot of things within the Warner Brothers franchise, but it very definitely is that. It's the roots of things before they got, like, differentiated into, like, multiple different characters. How about you? What do you reckon?
Yeah, there's not much you've said that I disagree with. Ever since clocking on that Bugs Bunny was acting a lot like Daffy Duck, it really did take me out of it, and I kind of started hating it.
It's like so much not a Bugs Bunny cartoon, and it's just basically his first appearance as a character, but it's not as that character, you know?
Yeah. Like, about the only... Like, he didn't even go, "What's up, Doc?"
No.
And it's interesting that he's called Bugs Bunny here, because the whole reason why he's called Bugs Bunny is because I thought his character, or at least the way he talked, was based on Bugsy Malone, who was a New York gangster, and that's why he's like, "What's up, Doc?" and talks all New Yorkerish, and here he's got none of that, so it's like, so mate, that must not be the origin of his name then.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because he bugs people.
Well, maybe, but he's not doing it maliciously, and this is the first appearance, and all he's doing is defending his home and his life.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not get too bogged down, shall we? Let's wrap it up. Rick, do you have a favourite moment?
When Porky was using his shotgun as a sniffer snout, and it went round the tree, and like Bugs poured this pepper down the two barrels, and they both sneezed. That was a cute little fun gag, visual gag. And yeah, how about you? What was your favourite moment?
Yeah, I think my favourite moment was when Bugs got fucking nailed with a stone and started falling down the sky. Just a simple animation of him not floating, but sort of spiralling down. It looked very good. And yeah, I realise it's quite a simple thing, even probably back then, but it looked good.
Yeah.
That being said, we can't only talk about the good, we also have to talk about the bad. Rick, do you have a weakest link for me?
It's just, well, we talked about it already, the fact that the characters are unbuilt and that they needed splitting into different characters to like make use of everything that they had here. Bugs as this is not that fun of a character compared to what we know we get out of having Bugs and Daffy and even Woody Woodpecker as a separate character.
Yeah, but that's not Warner Brothers.
It's not, but you know what I mean. Like, someone took that laugh and made it into Woody Woodpecker's thing.
I suppose. But even then, the Daffy Duck laughs a fucking lot. So I was saying Woody Woodpecker because it was the first thing that came to mind, because that was all I remember of Woody Woodpecker, but it is a Daffy thing.
Yeah, but like Daffy does the whereas Woody Woodpecker is specifically the which was actually what you laughed at like in this.
No, Bugs wasn't going, Woody Woodpecker's got a very distinctive laugh compared to what Bugs was doing here. We can agree to disagree on that fact, that's fine.
But yeah, it's that the characters could have done with separating even at this stage, and yeah, it's not painful to watch, but it's a shame knowing what we got later that they didn't have the foresight for it. But everything's a learning curve. How about you? What's your weakest link?
It's old and it feels old. It can't help that, it really can't. I'm not knocking it. It's good as a product of its time. However, if I wasn't talking to you during watching this, I would have fucking flicked off after a minute.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with it. It's just, old things are gonna be old. They're gonna have the old problems. And it being the first of something, and us knowing Bugs Bunny as we know Bugs Bunny, and this weren't Bugs Bunny. If you look at the fucking... nowhere near as grand in scale. Look at the first episode of Nonsense Review. It is nothing like what Nonsense Review is now. Okay, Rick, let's get to it. MVP.
My MVP is going to be Porky, because he showed more of himself as he becomes and evolves into, because he doesn't really change that much, and he showed how he was too much of a likable character to be a villain. I think that's the main reason, the main way that he's grown since this short.
Yeah, I get you. I totally get you. Also, let's be honest, out of everything on this cartoon, Porky Pig was the most like Porky Pig. He still had the stutter. He was a bit more aggressive than he should be. But again, it's a case of, whereas Bugs feels like both Bugs and Daffy, Porky Pig is both Porky Pig and Elmer Fudd in this.
Yeah, yes, he's wearing Elmer Fudd's gear and doing Elmer Fudd things, but other than that, he's the most recognizable as the character that he ends up as. So how about you? Who's your MVP?
My MVP is the OG Warner Brothers animators.
Yeah.
They had a distinct style, and to be honest, apart from Bugs' design, he said it best during the episode. If you colorize this episode, it looks like a Warner Brothers cartoon. They had that shit locked in from day one. They knew what they were doing, and it was good for its time.
Yeah, the slightly less cartoony backgrounds that are still artistically done.
Yeah,
is like their main thing.
Those of you who enjoyed this episode, we've got the comment section down below. We'll probably be doing more old cartoons in the future, but there's nothing more classic than this, in my opinion. If you're not watching via YouTube, I fucked the order up on that, but whatever. We've also got an email address. Rick, what is that email address?
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. Once again, that is nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
Yes. You can tell when I fucked up because Rick's very businesslike when he says the email address as a response. Join us next week where, assuming everything goes to plan and nothing's horribly gone wrong, Rick and I will be back in the flesh with 5 weeks of news to talk about.
See you later, everyone.